Okay, now move on plan. So from the goals, we have to move on preparing the plan. Based on the mission and strategic goals, we need to prepare the strategic plan, where the organization is going to focus on how the broader aspects are going to be addressed. So the plan is the set of activities that is ultimately going to guide us towards the goal. So in strategic plan, here we are underlying the activities or a set of activities that is going to help us to achieve the ultimate goals. This one is set by the top level managers, where the tactical plan is going to be set by the middle level as well as the top level manager. So here the middle level managers are going to sit with some of the top level managers, so that there will be a consistency between the strategic plans and tactical plans, and they can closely monitor that. So here the time period is smaller, just like as tactical goals, because here we are achieving tactical goals for in between 1 to 5 years, so as the plan will be in between 1 to 5 years. Whereas in case of setting up the operational goals, here the lower level managers are going to sit the mid-level managers to maintain the consistency, just like as tactical plan, and they are going to fairly set the activities which will deal the daily operation or which will help to achieve the operational goals which is set for less than 1 year. So here we need to consider the goals and the upper level plans, so that we can maintain the consistency and come up with a more solid plan. So here we are going to talk about the frame of planning, that is planning based on time period. I have already mentioned that in different level of plannings we need to consider the time frame. So here we are going to consider the long range planning, that is for 5 years or more than 5 years, is basically the plan developed by the top level managers, that is strategic planning. So mid-level managers, they are going to make the plan in between 1 to 5 years, which is known as tactical planning. And in case of short range planning, that is operational planning, our focus is to make the plan for less than 1 year. Sometimes it may be for 1 month, sometimes it may be for 3 or 4 months, or for 6 months. So time framing or planning is quite related with the level of managers, as well as level of goals and level of planning. So let's find out or understand more about how the goals are going to ultimately help us or guide us to prepare the plan, and what will happen if we have no long-term goals or no long-term plan. So I am going to share a video with you so you can understand it in a more enjoyable way, I hope, and I think this is going to make you more clear how goals and plans are quite related while we are doing planning.
Imagine you are driving a car at night in a complete darkness from point A to point B. They are 100 kilometers away from each other, and you roughly know where the point B is. What do? Of course, you just turn on the headlights, right? Now you can see only 50 meters ahead, and somehow, in a few hours, you simply make it to the point B without much effort. How did that happen? I find this analogy very powerful. The point B is our long-term goal, which may take 5, 10 or 20 years. It's your desired destination. It could be anything: running a successful business, retiring at the age of 40, or wanting to be a top pro snowboarder. it doesn't really matter. The headlights is our short-term planning for the nearest future. It could be 1 month, 6 months, or a year long. The short-term goal could be to find some local successful entrepreneurs and learn from them once a month, or to save 20% of the salary and invest it by the end of the year, or to stop eating junk food and sign up for a gym this week. These short-term goals often need to be re-evaluated and updated, but eventually they will lead you to the desired point B. As long as you have the headlights on and keep in mind that long-term goal, point B, you can safely drive through the darkness, avoiding the potholes, crossroads, traffic jams, and other obstacles life throws at us. You probably figure out by now that the darkness represents life in this example. Some people have a clearly defined point B in their life, but they often forget to turn on the headlights, so they burn through life, driving crazy circles in the complete darkness until they finally crash into some obstacle on the way that destroys the car. Other people don't have a desired point B defined, but they drive with the headlights on, and honestly, I think this is the worst category. At first, the ride seems much safer and more predictable, but after some time they will end up getting lost and frustrated, asking themselves, how did we end up in such a horrible place with all the driving done? A perfect quote comes to my mind: in the long run, we only hit what we aim at. If your long-term aim was literally nothing, don't be surprised when in the end you get nothing. Here you have it. The only way out of this is to have both a clearly defined long-term goal as well as the short-term planning, so no matter what life throws at you during the journey, you can always make it to the desired point B.
Now, who is responsible for doing planning? The first one is executive members from top level to mid level. We can find different levels of executive members who are considered as an executive committee, that is, who are mainly responsible to review the strategic plans and sometimes get involved with tactical plan. Then the line managers, who are actually responsible to execute the plan of the top level managers, that is, we can term as them as mid level managers. Then planning staffs. Planning staffs are individual managers. They have to gather information, they have to coordinate this information, they have to express the broader viewpoint so that everyone can understand. Then there may be a separate planning task force for individual purpose, that is for each and every specific goals. So they are going to address the special circumstances based on the special situation. Board of directors are responsible to develop the mission strategy and so as the strategic plan. Sometimes this board of director may be involved with the executive committee, or they could be a separate form. Chief executive officers are the people who are mainly preparing the plan and implementing the strategy. That is, they are mainly focusing on the implementation of the strategy, and they are trying to ensure the proper implementation of the strategy with their planning. So sometimes they could be in a position like president or board of chair.